So, about 2 months ago, I released a video talking about how I viewed the timeline of the Straw Hats, the Heart Pirates, and the Kid Pirates, how the timeline affected them from when they left Wano to the point where we were on the day of the Egghead Island incident. Removed from that, right now in story, we are 2 days from the Egghead Island incident. So I want to revisit the timeline because I've been focused on this timeline for a while. I've made a couple revisions over here. I've read this, and I want to talk more about Sabo, Kuzan, and Van Orga. A bit about Gop, but for Gop, it's not really that important about what happens to him. The Straw Hats, Law, and Kid, their timelines will remain the same, but I'll clarify them even more at the end of the video on how I view the timeline, and hopefully I can have it on screen for you. And yeah, hopefully let's get into it with Sabo. This is how Sabo. So in the anime, I think it's the most recent episode, the last episode. Right now in the anime, we are on when Imu and the Gorosei killed Cobra. We just had that chapter, that episode. Mind you, Imu looked really scary, but that's at best beside the point. Sabo side. So let's say about a month ago, a month and a week ago, about a month ago, Reverie took place. In 1083, it is stated that not long after Reverie began, the Reverie took the Revolution Army took action. They went out, they achieved their goals. They destroyed the Celestial Dragon symbol. They got Kuma back, and they destroyed the food reserves, which became important in last week's chapter 1125, with we saw the Celestial Dragons complaining about the lack of food, you know. And back to them when this happened, yeah. So after all that happened, Sabo left the Holy Land and went to Lulusia. Around the point after, when I think it was 1123, 1122, 1124, when we're getting all things about Vegapunk, just concluding Vegapunk's story. 2 weeks ago, hi, editing Nancy here. So I just realized I kept saying 2 weeks ago, referencing the whole when York was found out by Pythagoras. I meant a week ago. I kept saying 2 weeks ago because I knew the chapter was called The Void Fortnight, meaning 2 weeks. I kept saying 2 weeks. But whenever I say 2 weeks in this video, I mean 1 week ago. Sorry. Pythagoras stated he found out, or he deduced, York is the one who. And okay, just to make shit clear, I am going off the day of the Egghead Island incident. So when I say 2 weeks ago or a month ago, I mean a month ago, 2 weeks ago from the Egghead Island incident day, not where we are in the most recent chapter. Sorry, I had to exclaim that. So, Pythagoras said he found out York is the one who gave the fragment or stole the fragment 2 weeks ago. Lulusia was nuked 6 days before the Egghead Island incident, and Sabo was there. So, Lulusia is on the paradise side of the Grand Line. So, for him, it would have taken him, let's say, a week, week and a half to get from the Holy Land to Lulusia. Then, let's say, another week to completely heal up from Imu's attacks because he got really impaled as seen in the anime. And then 6 days before the Egghead incident, that should have been the timeline. I say 2 weeks to get to Lulusia, another week. So the timeline should be like about 6 days ago. And then let's say it took 3 days to get all the people to join the Revolution Army. 6 days before the incident, he was leaving, and then Lulusia was nuked. So then it took Sabo, I say, 2 to 4 days to get from Lulusia to Kamabaka Kingdom and have the whole conversation with Dragon and Ivankov that the God's Nest were first name dropped. I think that was chapter 1082, 1083, because that's what the anime is around now. and that's when the conversation started about everything to do and how Emu Nero. Now, when we first got that name dropped, all that. That's what we were. And we know Sabo. I say it took him 2 to 4 days to get to Kamabaka, just so travel time between islands, and also he has to be on Kamabaka. I say the day of the Island incident. So I say he got that the day before. He had the whole conversation with Ivankov and Dragon. Then the next day they were listening to Vegapunk's message. That's how I see it. So for me, Sabo, I know I'm taking a few liberties with the travel times, like I'm saying it took him 2 weeks. That was crazy because what's conflicting to me is in 1086, where the Goros's names, apart from Saturn, whose name we already knew, the other four Goros's names were completely shown. Emu said, let's blow up Lucia. They asked why. He said close proximity. So me saying it took 2 weeks to get there isn't really close proximity. So we could say it took him a week to get there. It took him another, like, let's say, a week and a half to recover from the damage from Emu. And then it took him another week and a bit to recruit people to join the Revolution Army, get a ship, get everything ready. Then 6 days ago, from the Island incident, he got on the ship and was leaving, linked to the Mushi to Lucia to make the call to the Rev, and then Lucia was nuked 6 days ago. Then it took him 2 days to travel, 2 to 4 days to travel, and then he was on Kamabaka for the Lucia, for the Egg Island incident, where he was able to hear Vegapunk's full message and be like, oh shit. And then that's where I think on the evening of that day, that's when we got the rep talking about tequila with vodka, with bourbon, with all those different wolves. That's when we got that. So, Kuzan and Van Auger. In the original video, I said, and to me, Van Auger is still the cause of me thinking about the timeline because of how he moved and how before we knew Van Auger was going to be on Egghead, the theory was simply, oh, it's gonna be Devon and Lafitte going to Lucia, no, to Egghead. Looking at it now, that theory would make everything easier, but I'm happy it wasn't like that, and I'm happy we got to see what Lafitte is doing as he's near the bundlers for the Red Ports. So forget about Lafitte. Van Auger, he's still the main reason for these videos existing, and me going so deep in the last 40, 50, let's say 60 chapters of me just looking at the timeline, trying to piece together where he was, and trying to find all the dates and saying where Reverie happened, all this. Because I know most of the information comes from around 1080 to now, and the late 1050s, saying how long it took to get to Egghead for the Straw Hats. So, Kuzan, in the original timeline, I said 2 to 4 weeks ago, Kuzan and Auger were on Whole Cake Island and they kidnapped Pudding. Now, the anime, the manga, they've all clarified to me. This was taking place around the time of Reverie, so around the time of Wano. So I say about a month ago. A month ago, Kuzan and Van Auger kidnapped Pudding. Then they had time, so I think then they had time to go to, I don't know, you know what, I'll add this right now. As they were doing this, at the same time, Blackbeard went to Amazon Lily and got Kobe. So then they went back to Hachinosu, did a trade, or they went back, or Blackbeard's ship went back to Hachinosu, took Kobe, they imprisoned Kobe. Then he met up with Auger, then he went to Winter Island. He met up with Auger, who teleported with Pudding up to Blackbeard's ship, put the Pudding in the prison in Blackbeard's ship, and then they fought Law on Winter Island. Then Auger, I say, it took him about, I don't know, 2 to 3 days. I still go 2 to 4 days to teleport from when, because in my original timeline it went the island pirates who won at Wano left Wano. Let's say that's the day one. On day two, no, on the no, yeah, on the no, sorry, rephrasing. Day one is the day after they left Wano. On the late in the afternoon or late afternoon of day two, Law fought and lost to Blackbeard. In the evening of day three, Kid got one tapped by Shanks. On the night of day four, the evening of day four / the night of day four, that's the evening. The Straw Hats arrived at Egghead. Then we had that whole Sherlock Holmes find out who the traitor is part at night, fight the Seraphim. We still didn't get clarification on that. Like Oda just skipped on that. We just have to like let that shit slide. We don't know how they beat the Seraphim. We just know, oh yeah, they beat the Seraphim. Hopefully the anime gives a flashback and adds to it in the next. I'll be a month from now. This will be a month from now. But I digress. And then day 5 is the day of Egghead Island incident. That's how I see it. So let's say on the evening of day 2, Law was defeated. Then Van Hogger had day 3 and day 4 to get to Egghead. Now I know on day 4 in 1078 I think, or 1079, before we panned away from the Straw Hats, we saw a Blackbeard ship near Egghead. I think that is Devon getting there. Olga was on the ship with her. Then Olga arrived either the night of day 4 or the morning of day 5 before all the fighting took place. Then they got there, they touched Saturn, they grabbed Caribou, and then they left. And then we see 2 days later, I said I won't mention it, but we see 2 days later in this last week's chapter, 10/11/26, we see Olga and Devon have just reached. So we can say it takes about 2 days to get from Egghead here. So it makes sense. It will take another 2 days with the warp fruits. It takes 2 days by boat to get from Egghead to Hachinosu. I can say with the warp fruit, he should be able to get from Winter Island to Hachinosu in 2 days. By boat, it will be a 4-day trip. That's how I look at it. Kuzan. So I said Kuzan had to have gone. So I say Kuzan on his own ship just after Olga grabbed Pudding and teleported across to Blackbeard to fight Law. Kuzan went back to Winter Island, met Blackbeard there, or maybe I think I'm misremembering it. So this is how I just look at it. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But at this point, they met Kobe. Blackbeard left to go fight Hachinosu. So there's Kuzan, Shiryu, Sanhon Wolf, Heavy Drinker, and the cat guy, Alvaro Pizarro. They were there with Kuzan. The Garp thing happened. They beat Garp. Now they have Garp in captivity. That's how I look at the timeline. That's how I've looked at it. It could still be wrong. I'm still down to be making heavy revisions if I read some more. If I see another timeline video from a bigger YouTuber, or I just keep reading the chapters over and over again while I'm making my recap videos for the 10 chapter recaps, which I will make for the 11/20s. That's when I might, if I see something interesting there, I might make a revision. So the full timeline from, let's say, the Reverie is the full time from the Reverie, not counting Wano, is a month ago. Sabo and the Rev went to the Holy Land, did their shit, and left. It took Sabo a week to get to, let's say about a week, give or take, to get from the Holy Land to Lucia, because we have to go off Emu stating the Lucia has close proximity, and to me a week travel by ship should count as close proximity. We then have Sabo was taking 2 weeks to recover from the damage he got from Emu. He then took another week and a bit to recruit all the people to join the Revolutionary Army, get supplies ready for them, get a ship, and leave before making the call that we saw him on before Lucia was nuked 6 days ago. After that, the next day, the Allied forces who won at Wano left Wano. The day after that, nothing happened. It was a calm day. That was 5 days ago. 4 days ago, Kid fought and lost to Van Auger. 3 days ago, no. 4 days ago, Law fought and lost to Van Auger. 3 days ago, Kid got one tapped by sharks and the giants destroyed his ship. 2 days ago, no, yesterday, the Straw Hats arrived at Egghead. And then today, no, I think that's wrong. Yeah, today, the fight, everything happened, and the Egghead Island incident happened. It's over. That's it. They left. They skipped. They won. That's the timeline. Hopefully, even if I said it wrong, I'll have it on screen, properly jotted down with the proper direction and timeline on how the days flowed. But thank you all for listening. Hopefully this helps bring some clarity to the timeline for you. Maybe I'm just happy. Maybe I just made this shit out of my ass. But thank you. I'll see you all tomorrow for the chapter review. Peace.